All right, welcome to another GrungeCast episode. This is episode 13, and this time we have something really, really special. All the way from Germany, say hello to Stonebourne. Hey guys,
Hey,
welcome to
Kavi.
GrungeCast.
We have still some
Hey
problems to
man.
understand you because it's really the connection is a little bit broken still. But hello from Germany, from Stonebourne, über Grunge from Germany. Woo!
Yep. Hello.
So we have Sven and we have Joe. So yeah,
Yeah. So
and
I can only guess what you're
so
saying, Kabio,
yeah,
because the connection is really bad. It's still broken.
I know there's some massive issue, but we'll get this through. We'll get this through. We'll fight this. We'll fight this together. So yeah. Um, so, here's the thing. If you can hear me, tell us a bit about the
Yeah,
band and
it's not the best
a little
connection,
history of the
I would
band.
say.
How did you all start?
So we can try, but it's really it's always stopping the stream. So it's like always interrupted. You can hear us very well.
Maybe you could write down the questions
Yeah.
and we can answer.
That seems to be the only alternative left.
Don't get it.
I can hear you guys.
Sorry.
Okay.
Still. Maybe we're too far away.
All right. In that case.
Okay. So it started all for me when I was a little bit bored with my first band and had a lot of time left, and I was searching for a second project. And I really wanted just to start as a singer because I'm a guitarist and singer in my second band. And I thought maybe it's a good idea just to get into a band who's already finished and I start singing. And then I get into the rehearsal room and we made some tunes. And the guys asked me if I could bring my guitar the next time. And so I got in, and now I'm guitarist and singer in Stonebourne. And it started, Dirk, in what year?
That was 2014.
2014.
Oh,
6 years ago already.
It was around about end of 2014 when Sven joined. But actually, he already brought his guitar to the rehearsal.
6 years.
Yeah, but he continued playing. We couldn't prevent him from playing the guitar.
And we had some problems with changes in the band members. So I think now it's 3 years ago that we have the full, complete lineup. We play now together. Or 2 years with a new drummer. So it was also a change with the drumming. And the new album is now with these 4 guys, Dirk, Norman, Heinz, and me.
excellent. So, okay, first of all, sorry, really apologize about the bad network. If you can hear me.
Yeah, now it's okay.
Now it's getting better?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was talking 2 minutes about, I was talking with your colleague that in Germany the net is so bad and in India it seems to be perfect. So now it proves different.
I mean, it depends from network to network. This has never happened before. Hey, this is episode 13. Something special and something interesting should happen. So
yeah.
So excellent. So I noticed that you guys have this almost So tell us a bit about Uber Grunge. What is Uber Grunge?
I didn't get the last part of the question.
Me not either.
So what's Uber Grunge? Like you guys call yourself Uber
What's Uber
Grunge.
Grunge?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how do you? Yeah.
Dirk, you might tell.
Uh, yeah, to be honest, it's more an idea from Sven because we didn't want to go back that we say we are just a grunge band because grunge, as many people say, is dead. We're not doing the maybe classical grunge, whatever. So we made a bit step forward about it. So that's why we call it the Uber Grunge.
Yeah, it's always you're looking for a label, and everybody wants a label. What kind of music you play, and if you just say we play grunge, it's not real the truth, because we're really a little bit beyond that. We're not like a retro band and playing like all the sound of the 90s. So I thought it's a good idea to give a little bit new modern accent.
Yeah, exactly. So as I said, we bring our
right.
let's say experiences from our bands because not all of us were in grunge bands before. I for myself started in metal bands, hard rock bands, progressive rock bands, for instance, and so everybody brings his own experiences now into the music. So it's a kind of a mixture. So the basic of it is grunge, we would say, but we maybe take it a step forward or so far beyond the eternity.
Couldn't have said it better.
Oh, thank you, Sven.
Welcome. Kepio, you look like Frozen.
Oh, yes. Fabio?
Yeah, what else can we tell meanwhile? Nick?
We're now alone.
Yeah. I hope we're not alone in the whole universe now, and we have some listeners. Hi.
Hi. Tuning in again. Hi there.
So anyway, let's play a track from your latest album. So I'm right here. So play that album. Little bit. Say 1 minute, just 1 minute.
No worries.
So anyway, so this is the album Squirrels On Plane. It's available on Spotify. So if you guys are watching the live, so you guys after the live show, you can go to Spotify and search Squirrels On A Plane, and the album is available.
And add us to your playlist.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying?
Done?
What do you mean?
Let's start. So I'm starting with my favorite track from the album. It's called Mother. So
okay.
What did I miss? Oh, you guys are already on the album. Okay.
1 minute.
I have so many questions after you play this song.
We're still here.
Yeah. Abhishek is saving my ass today. Abhishek is saving my network. Thank you, Abhishek. You're a true friend, brother.
All about your mother.
Network connection is really shitty here. So, God, seriously.
For your boy on the bright side, but this is not a road I've ever walked. All these pictures on your sideboard, they don't show me anymore. And how long has it been since we last talked? Would you believe if I told you how much I wanna hold you? Oh, how much I need you to hold you look at me that way? Like you will never care about anyone but you. I wish I could only trust your selfish tears, but I've learned my lesson many times before. Oh, and mama, don't you ask yourself why I've never called you back. Did you really think I could ever feel as home again? You have left me long before you were gone. How could I forget? Oh, would you believe if I told you how much I wanna hold you? Oh, how much I need you to hold me close. Maybe you told me I'm your little boy. Ooh, it's getting late. Be better leave now, 'cause I don't believe you know just what it means to be a mother.
So that was
Play the next song. It's okay.
Squirrels on a Plane. That was Mother from Squirrels on a Plane. So that
Mother.
was a beautiful Uber Grunge from Germany. So and after this live video session, so you guys, we have already mentioned the Spotify links with this post. So you just click on the link and go through the album and listen. And if you want to buy that album, just go to Bandcamp and search Stonebourne, and you will get that album. It's really a cool album.
And again, we are back with the.
Yeah.
Oh God,
again.
it's really killing the show,
But
man.
don't
It's
say
killing
too
the
many
show.
words because it will be too much for the line.
Today doesn't seem to be our day, but anyway, sorry to come, but we'll compensate for sure. We'll
Oh God, again.
actually, if necessary, we'll stretch this session so that we can have a conversation properly. Really sorry about the network. We tried our best, but
Fabian, you're freezing and we don't hear you.
so yeah. So I have a question, guys. Like, what happens when? Am I audible?
Yeah.
No, but can they hear me? Is the question.
Yeah. Well, well, we can still hear you, Cabio. We see you, but we only heard bits. So, but thanks for choosing this Mother song, Abhishek. I heard it's your favorite.
Yeah, it's my favorite one. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Smashing.
Okay. Smash it. Okay. Great. Yeah, it's really nice.
Keep coming and going.
It's a secret hit single.
Can it start?
Yeah. So How
Uh,
so?
with,
I just want to ask a question. So, how did you guys start Stonebourne? So, did you guys were how did you guys meet? So, you guys are four-piece band, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Uh,
So, how did you guys meet? How did you guys started Stonebourne? So, what was the main aim? What was the main ambition behind the Stonebourne?
so it was like that because I founded the band with a friend of mine, a guitar player,
Yeah,
and that was back in the beginning of 2014.
yeah,
So we had the idea of doing something together. We've been knowing for each other for couple of years already. I knew he played in a band. I was playing in one band at the moment, and
okay,
that I still have a bit time for doing more. And so we decided to do something. He said he always wanted to play in a grunge band or wanted to make grunge, and said, "Okay, why not?" I always had sometimes connections with my other band, but so we wanted to make something more pure this direction. And so we were looking for a singer and a drummer. A drummer was quickly found. The singer, Sven, came a bit later in the year, end of 2014 to us. So then we started with the first tunes that the guitar player and I composed together. And then Sven came in. He did the final of these first few tunes. So came up with gorgeous choruses and so on. And of course, the perfect vocals for it. And the first time he arrived or entered the rehearsal room with us, and we did the first few sessions, I knew, okay, he's the man. And I did already know him from I think a few years before when I saw him together with my other band. We were playing a little concert together. He was with his band Subwave. I was with my band Syndrome there. And so I knew him, but only from one gig. And then I
okay.
said, okay, if he wants to join us, that would be the perfect mix for our band.
And
And
as I
it was a big gift also for the songwriting because he has a big potential.
Yeah, as I said before, I originally just wanted to sing in this band and to make it like my side project, and now it became my full-time job. And my first
That's
band
awesome.
became a second band, really. So, but I really enjoy it because it's like going back to my youth and going back to the 90s and performing all the music I started with. Usually, formerly I was playing in a metal band, and when Pearl Jam and Soundgarden broke through, I was really like
Wow.
shocked. Oh my God, what the cool sounds! And it really like opened my whole musical horizon. And that was where I started with like grunge tunes or something similar. And then with my first band, we developed into something different direction, like alternative rock. And now the Stonebourne was really the chance to go back there to the real roots. And that's really great feeling playing that music.
That's really nice. That's really awesome story. So, you guys
yeah,
actually
like
started
that's very
Stonebourne during 2014, 13, that kind of time, right? So,
Yeah.
Exactly.
it's been only 6 years or 7 years. So,
yeah,
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 before this album, Squirrels on a Plane. So, before this album, you already guys released a EP album.
Exactly.
So six-track EP, I guess that was I was listening to that EP track on Spotify. So really, that album really contains a few tracks were really good, but Squirrels on a Plane is really on a another level. That's really huge. I mean, that's for me when I first heard this album. So
yeah.
I was just listening. Just Sven actually sent those files, the songs, full album. He sent me through Google Drive. So I just downloaded and I started listening. So after listening the full album, I thought that this album deserves an album review because uh, they wrote this music a, a totally different dimension. So I was just writing and I was just listening to the whole album in repeat mode. So I was writing and listening at the same time. So that's a really wonderful experience for me because this album really a very beautiful album. So I am requesting everyone so who are watching this live podcast, so just listen to this album. It's the link is already on the description. Just click on the link. So that's Squirrels on a Plane. So just tell us about a bit about the Squirrels on a Plane. So how did you guys started Squirrels on a Plane? Was that your whole intention about that? Were you guys really trying to put up 15 songs or 18 songs or 20 songs? So what was your goal to about this album?
Yeah, but it's just the end point of a development, and it's really funny if you say like the EP, you say it sounds great, but now the new album is for you like a development, and that's really
Okay.
cool because that is just like it should be, and we don't want to repeat ourselves all the time. When I write a new song, I always try to do a different tune than I did before. So thanks a lot that you discovered that. And
So yeah. Okay. So Kabo is here. Kabo, if you want to ask a question.
Yeah, but you also mentioned, of
Okay,
course,
so basically,
you
yeah,
could
I have a
hear
lot of questions to ask
10,
you guys.
15 songs.
But am I audible enough? Is my question. Am I audible enough?
Yeah. I can hear you.
we can hear you sometimes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm.
yeah. Okay. I mean, the fact that you guys used to play in metal bands is, I don't know, quite evident. I mean, Dirk looks like this angry metal bassist, you know?
No, I'm sorry, we didn't hear.
So we can hear that you're speaking, but we don't understand anything. Because it's literally like, I wish I could understand what he's
No,
saying.
so yeah, he actually said that you guys used to play in a metal band. So how's that transition you make to a Stonebourne, a uber grunge band? So that was a question, I guess.
Yeah, well, for me, it's long ago, because my last metal band I finished in 1990 something. So
Wow.
just some years before grunge broke through. And as I said, like these new bands from Seattle and stuff. So I'm not
Yeah.
really the type of Nirvana fan. I'm more,
Yeah.
as you probably can hear from our sound, like
Yeah.
Soundgarden and
Yeah.
and Alice in Chains stuff. So more this rock area, not from the punk side. For me, it was really a breakthrough because it was such a new sound and such a new feeling. And when I heard the first time Eddie Vedder on the 10 album, I was like, oh my God, how can you ever this? It's impossible. And I mean, the 10 album has a lot of cool sounds, and it's a rock album, but the voice
Yeah.
and the whole blends together, and that makes it to a grunge album for me. And it's still one of my favorite albums, I think, because
That's
it
one
was
hell of an album, man.
such a new experience for me. That these new chords and new harmonies, like
Yeah.
in the metal band, it was all like in a quite of a pattern. Yeah, it has to be like this, and this chord has to follow this, and then you have the mosh part and the solo part and whatever. And in grunge, it was really a big freedom. You can do whatever you want.
Nice. That's really a big transition for you guys. So how did you guys? So this Squirrels on a Plane, this album, is this a conceptual album or just a simple album? Is there a concept behind this album? I'm just asking.
Yeah, and Dirk will
Is there
tell
a
you.
concept? Yeah.
Um, real concept. Well, yes, well, we develop a kind of concept, but maybe it's hard to tell. Yeah. Concept
Actually,
is, of
there's
course, we have our concept is
various
our
guys.
little King Kong, as you mentioned here.
Okay.
And of course, we develop. This is the idea behind. So it's our little ape here. He's our friend, we would call him, and he wants to accompany us throughout our hopefully still long career, whatever. And yeah, everything's run about a bit this one. So maybe the lyrics are maybe not so deep in these kind of
Yeah.
concept, whatever. But I think we have this What do you call this when our um,
Just speak your mind. Okay, so there's
Yeah, be honest.
yeah.
So I would say it's not a real concept album. Yeah, it's a concept of our musical life because
Yeah.
we were thinking about like what songs shall be put on the album and what song is great to be on the album, and we really couldn't decide. So we recorded. It took like over 1.5 years to record songs, and then we were mixing it up, and I think it's at least it's like I don't know, like an overview over what we're doing, and
Yeah.
fans it's great because they have all the songs in the development, but it's not a real concept like this song follows the others, and there's no big story behind it because we're not
Okay.
this serious band.
maybe the development of the CD itself was like that. That we first planned it maybe to do a 10-piece CD,
Yeah.
10 songs first of all, but we
Yeah.
have already recorded all the 15 that we had, and
Yes,
then
we had to check
somehow we had a few ideas of doing it. Maybe we do it, as I said, 10 on a CD and then 5 maybe just via Spotify, whatever, on those forms. And then suddenly we decided, okay, let's put all the 15 on it. Another good idea would have been maybe 3 EPs or 5 pieces, but we've thrown away that, of course.
Yes. So Cabo actually couldn't be here because he's having really a major network surge problem. So
Yeah.
he sent me 3 questions. So what happens when squirrels get on a plane? So that's the first question Cabo want to ask. So what
something for
happens
Sven.
when squirrels get on a plane?
Okay, then go back to the concept question. You have to listen to all the songs from the album to understand what happens when squirrels get on a plane. Exactly this will happen.
So second question is, do you guys love King Kong? Because you have a huge King Kong on the front
freezing.
cover of your album. So the second question is, do you guys love King Kong? Because
Yeah.
there's a huge King Kong on the front cover of your album. So
Dick?
that's the question. Do you guys love King Kong?
Um,
King Kong, that's
wouldn't call it
gorilla on the front cover of your album.
I wouldn't call it love, I would say.
It's not really King Kong on the album. Yeah, it's just our personal ape. Yeah, it just happened when we were searching for a band logo, and we
Yeah.
had a guy who did all this artwork for us, and we just gave him our music and
Yeah.
said, okay, just invent something for us. And he came with this
Okay.
idea of this gorilla.
Okay.
So it's a gorilla, but it's not King Kong. So maybe
Okay,
just
okay.
it's the Seattle King Kong, maybe, yeah. As he climbs the Seattle Space Tower.
Yeah, Seattle Tower. Yeah. So anyway, so you guys released this album on September 18th. So what's the plan during this pandemic period? So how do you guys plan to promote this album in this pandemic situation? Any
Yeah,
kind of
just-
idea? So
Yeah,
what
right
are
now
plans
we're
for-
on your show, for example. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like going online in every radio show, promoting to anyone who wants to play Spotify's playlists, blogs. Because of course there are no shows. We have at least
Okay.
have one show in November in Germany. We booked this
Okay.
like 1 year ago, and we are really happy that it can
Wow.
take place in a very different state of art. I would say it's like now like a restaurant. And people sitting on chairs and tables and having lunch, and we play our grunge music. That will be really a funny experience, I think.
So that's a good thing. So you guys are promoting in this way. So how is in Germany? How is the pandemic situation going? So any kind of shows happening, or I was really asking this question, Seven, before this interview. So you guys can say. So what is the situation, the pandemic situation in Germany? So, because I just want to say that in India the pandemic situation is getting worse day by day. Because here the artists are not getting any kind of shows or any kind of exposure, because there's nothing is happening here for music. So what is the situation in Germany right now?
Yeah, it's exactly the same. So we don't have
Okay.
any shows here, and as I told you, it's you're lucky if you can play like a private show for friends, like a rehearsal room show or like in a private party. But this is also very rare, and I think it will continue till 21. There will be no shows till summer next year, I think. Dirk, what do you
Yeah.
say?
Yeah, exactly. So the only shows maybe that are allowed to happen are when the situation there in the events are good enough for this whole COVID situation. So everybody needs to hold a certain distance, of course, to each other. So 1.5 meters is so the average distance or minimum distance they should have, unless they come from the same household or whatever. So, and then of course, when you have a concert hall, normally you fit in, let's say, 500 people, then perhaps a maximum of 75 are allowed to come in. So then you can see the dimension when only a fifth of the people that are allowed to come in are in those halls. It's a bit sad, but of course, somehow you can be happy when something can take place.
Yeah. So that's Richard Gill from. So he's saying yeah, no, playing live is horrendous. Yeah, we agree, man. Same
Absolutely.
thing happening everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
So
that
we,
is
we
that is why you play music, yeah, to get on stage, to perform. So I like
Yeah.
playing, recording music in the studio, but the real fun is to go on stage, go on tour.
Exactly.
That
I
is
agree,
music
man.
life, you know.
I myself, I have a band actually. I am also a guitarist and vocalist of a band called Road to Renaissance. So I have a band in India at Calcutta actually. So there is no shows happening. We can't even go to studio to record materials because we stay different locations.
Yeah.
So we can't even connect to each other. So that's really this pandemic situation is really bad thing happening for us.
That
So
sucks.
Yeah.
we have, yeah. So anyway, Kapo is here. Kapo, can you hear us?
For the time being. For the time being. Yeah, I can hear you.
So yeah. So ask your questions. So anyway,
I just
Happy,
type
type
my
your
questions, man,
questions, I
because
see it and I will answer it.
so Kapo, just type your question on the private chat, so they will get that question. Okay. Oh God, again. So anyway, Richard Gill commented again. We have a show booked December 4th. It may or may not happen. If it does, it will be 80 people instead of 300. Yeah, that's true,
fair.
man. That's true.
80
At
people,
least,
You
in
feel with
Germany,
you,
it's
Ricky.
not possible. 80 people, you have a real huge location to make it happen.
yeah. Still, that's huge, Richard. That's huge because in India, that kind of shows are not happening. Any
Yeah.
kind of exposure shows are not happening here. And in Germany, the same case. So I don't know how the artist gonna survive this pandemic situation. I don't know what's going to happen next year. So that's really the situation is getting worse day by day.
Yeah. Also,
Uh,
the problem is like in Europe, I think many clubs will be closed down next year
yeah,
because they're
yeah,
going broke, and
yeah,
so it's getting worse and worse.
yeah, man. So anyway, so after this album, I know it's really a bit early to ask. So after this album, what's your future plan with Stonebourne?
Yeah, hopefully, of course, first of all, to play again live, maybe to a bigger audience again, whatever. So no restrictions at all. That would be, of course, a dream somehow. But of course, for every band, I think that counts worldwide.
Okay.
And of course, we do what we can. So as Sven already mentioned, doing maybe some online shows or going to radio stations whatsoever. or have nice interviews like with you guys, for instance. But we can't tell at the moment. Of course, we're trying to book gigs for next year, but as Sven mentioned, we don't know, of course, whether some clubs will be still existing next year because they simply break down, whatever, go in bankruptcy, whatsoever. So it's difficult to say at the moment because they don't even can tell whether they have a plan for next year.
Yeah, at least we have time to write new songs.
Yeah, that's true. You guys can compose at least. So,
Exactly.
Cabo actually asked a question, so I'm gonna put it on the screen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have a feeling that you guys love satire and it shows in your songs and love titles. Am I right? So that's the question of Cabo.
That's something for Sven.
Yeah, I always say we are a grunge band, but we are a funny grunge band. So we don't take everything too serious. Also, this teenage angst. I mean, this is the main basic of grunge, to have this anger and this angst feeling. But I always try to make it a little bit different. So not to put just, oh, everything is so bad, I'm so sad, I want to die, I want to kill myself. This doesn't lead to anything. And so
Yeah.
I try to give it a twist in the lyrics. And of course, also our album title is, it's a fun album title. And even the cover is very funny. There's a little bit a different side of grunge. And
witty grunge.
That grunge is, I mean, it's not only this very sad and depressive thing. It's a kind of feeling, but you can live with it. You don't need to every day.
Grunge is actually is totally depends on the individual, because the individual, what kind of feelings the individual is having. So that kind of thing affects on the grunge music. That the person what in that kind of music are gonna create. So it's totally about the person who creating that music. That's about grunge. So anyway, so moving on. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions about your guitar stops, because this kind of questions actually asked by Sam, and Sam is not here right now, so I'm going to ask. So, what kind of guitar or guitar processor you used on Squirrels on a Plane? So just give us a bit of it. Equipment.
You mean what kind of equipment?
Yeah, what kind of equipment?
So I'm playing Gibson Les Paul guitars, and I'm going into a Marshall amp, the legendary 800 lead series. So
nice.
And I have also it's a Marshall JTM 45 clone, so not the real one, but the one from I think it's from the 50s or 60s. It just has a very pure, clean sound, and I go in with my effect board, like a multiprocessor board. I don't know. I think it's a Zoom. Old Zoomta 7.1. I think it's not really on the market still, but I really like it. And for me, I don't have single pedals, because when I sing, I need this multiprocessing to switch the sounds. So I can put on all the pedals, so I have a multiprocessor. So, but I basically go into a clean channel on the amp with my effect in front. And Norman is very different. He really puts a lot of skills into his pedals, has a lot of big pedal board and tweaks around. And he plays a high watt. It's also a cool amp for grunge and for rock.
So
it's a little bit loud at you.
Yeah.
There's a strange noise in the background from when Sven's talking.
It's So this is the main equipment, but it's not very special. So at least I could go into any amp with a clean channel and put my distortion in front of, and that's it. So I don't put a lot of time into tweaking my sound. I think I played the same sound since 20 years, something like that.
Okay. So, Dirk, so what kind of bass you use?
Well, actually, for the recording stuff as Squirrels on a Plane,
Yeah.
I played my old Spectre NS2.
Nice.
It was a very nice instrument. I really like the sound, though it's quite old, almost 30 years next year. But still
Oh,
has really pure sound I really like. So I can tune because it has precision and jazz bass pickups. So I can change my tunes or whatever. The sound of it all is already on the bass. With the recordings, I used Quantum top amp. Usually when I play live, I have also a PV amplifier with a PV preamp, but also quite old. So it's nothing special, I would say. So anyway, normally I could also play with any amp going live. So I have make a short maybe line check, whatever, when I'm on the stage, and then see that I got my basic sound whatsoever, and the rest is normally done by the sound engineer there.
yeah.
Yeah,
They are the
and I
savior,
want
sound
to
engineer. Yeah, I would say.
I want to add that really I'm not so much into like sound tweaking, because I really think the song matters very much.
Yeah,
You
and
can
actually,
play a very
I,
cheap
I can
equipment.
I can hear that influence on your album, "Swimming Through the Waves." That first track, that actually blew my mind. It does blew my mind because the sound was so pure. That's totally raw and totally unhinged, and I really dig that sound, man. Because grunge should be that kind
Yeah,
of material. Grunge should be in that way. So, if you guys don't mind, so I'm going to play that song.
of course.
Uh,
Whatever you like.
oh God. Lots of 80s influence, huh? Am I right? And Tapo is saying that Bush seems to be a huge influence.
The drums are
I
quite good.
won't go down, drawing straws. I've got 7 lives left, and I'm too old to die young. I've lived many lives, and there's so much more to see under the sun, over the rainbow. I see colors in the dark. Ooh, you gotta believe it. The lights come on, breaking through the clouds. Ooh, you gotta let it breathe. Swimming through the waves. What can you swallow before you drown?
Okay, we're just having a great time with Squirrels on a Plane.
Hey, some swallow, 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 swallow.
Awesome, awesome track. So I'm just going to cut through from the song. So that's a really, really awesome song. Awesome song. So
Why did you
Tabo,
stop? You guys,
What?
why did you stop? I was
Maybe we could try like this.
like swallow, swallow, swallow. Oh, that was like so addictive.
yeah. So Tabo, you're back, so we can hear you. Oh God, you can mute.
Yeah,
Here,
I mean,
yeah.
I know you. I'm still not gonna take any risk. I'm gonna type my question. That's,
So you wrote a question. Yeah?
So this is the first time actually I'm taking interview because Kabo usually took all the interview on the previous episode. This is the first time I'm taking the interview because he's having internet connection problem. So I'm totally nervous. So,
Do it
so
in
let's
one
be
month
honest.
later. Do it with Capio once again. So, Capio,
Kabo,
you asked a question. Bush seems to be a huge influence. Am I right? Yes and no. Maybe. So if you listen to the second song on our album, Take My Everything, I think there's a big influence from Bush. I don't know why, but I wrote this song and then it happened. And I was really thinking of, oh, can we really put it on the album? Is it not too much pushy? Yeah. Oh, well, I don't care. I mean, we have only 12 tones in the... anyway, yeah, I'm not that big Bush fan, really. I like Bush, a really great band, but influences is not too much from Bush. But this song in particular is really kind of pushy. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, exactly, Cabio. So when you write here, yeah, we try to sound like us, like Stonebourne, of course, because it's always difficult to say. Or with my former bands, it was always the same. We were always asked, what kind of music or sound do you make? Do you sound like? And we all never liked that question, so because we never could really answer, because everybody should maybe make his own picture of it. So when he's listening to our music, then can maybe tell, right, everybody hears something different. So it was often also with my former bands, for instance, somebody else or anybody listened to the music and heard something else that I would never have thought about, for instance. So
yeah, it's the same with
me. So we just try to do the music that we like to play, that we are able to play, and and when we say, okay, we like it, we bring it out on an album, play it live, whatsoever, and when we reach people who also do like that music, then we say we have done everything right so far.
Yeah.
Okay. So Cabo was saying,
proud to have this song on his new album.
Anyway, so Cabo was saying that you guys only sound like Stonebourne, nothing else.
Yeah, I really think. Yeah, I think that's the truth. So we have a lot of influences, and of course you can hear in the songs the bands you like. Yeah, that's always like you have these records in your cupboard, and then you hear Stonebourne or other bands, and you always try to put it into the sounds you like. And then you hear, oh, this sounds a little bit like Bush, this sounds a little bit like Pearl Jam or Alice in Chains. And all of this is in Stonebourne, of course, because this is our roots. But as I said, this is the grunge, is to make something new out of it and not to cover it and to stay in the past.
Oh, awesome. So Rosa Miller is commenting, hello everyone. Hello Rosa.
Hello,
Welcome to GrungeCast.
Hello, one more time.
So Kapo is already commented one thing. So he's saying, me, Abhishek, Sam think if you guys don't go huge in the recent future, there's something wrong in the world. That's really true. I really believe that.
Don't you know? Wrong with the world.
I really believe that. So yeah, man, that's just classic Kapo. Anyway, so moving on, I just want to play another song from your album. There's a lot of people are coming, so let them get a taste of your album. Which one I should pick? My Pain is a Warm Gun. Oh, wow, that's a really wicked song name.
No, it's difficult.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites from this album.
One of ours too.
I left my suitcase in your room. I got the blues in my pocket and a couple of songs. What took me so long to start anew when all I needed was only you. Oh, I knew it was you, it was you. Hold on, you're the one I can hold. shield yourself, the less you bleed. But you broke through, now I lay down my guns here at your feet. Ever since I can remember, I've always felt so used. Everything I've been missing, I found in you. Oh, I know it was you all along. You're the one, you're the one. I've come home. Life's a strange thing. I've always been a stranger. Oh, you pulled me back in, and I will always love you. You're alone. You're the one. You're the one. I've come home. This is beautiful. This is happiness. Oh, Lord, I feel kind of wonderful, and I must confess, oh, that's the best I ever known. This is a miracle. This is love. This is
Yeah, this is love, man. This is love. Awesome music and awesome music. So that was really really fun to have you guys. And I'm really sorry, very much sorry for the technical difficulties we faced. Capo, our actually the anchor is actually not here, so I took the interview, and really that's a bit sad. That's really I don't know. I don't put those words in one sentence because I'm really it's really
Don't
what can I
worry.
say?
We're really proud to be on the show, and we can do this again in future.
Yeah. We can always do this again. So that was GrungeCast with Stonebourne, and that was our 13th episode. And really, that didn't go well as we thought. I know. Lots of people who are going to see this, and they're going to understand. They're going to see that we were having technical difficulties. Kabu was coming here, then going out. So anyway, so we're at the end of the show. So the last question about you guys. So that's a bit personal question. Yeah, that is. So which musician, personally, which musician influenced you the most to follow these footsteps to create Stonebourne, to create Squirrels on a Plane?
Yeah, of course. When I started to try to play grunge, it was like Eddie Vedder who blew my
Okay.
mind. And
Okay.
really, his unique style, not only his perfect voice, but the kind he uses his voice like a extra instrument on the album. He's not like just like a singer who sings on the music. He plays
Yeah.
music with it, and he's a different rhythm. He sings in a different pattern. So that was my main influence in former times. Nowadays, I must say, I don't have influences anymore because I play music for such a long time now, and I don't care. I just listen to everything on radio, and what comes in my mind and it comes out somewhere else. But I can't say now I have influences anymore and say I want to sing or to play guitar like this guy. So now I'm really me. I'm old enough to do that.
Awesome. That's really a good answer, man. So, Dirk, who who were your who influenced you most growing up?
Hmm. Okay. I have to go back a long way in time, I guess. So, was right about last millennium, I think.
Yeah, of
So a
course.
long time ago, or two millenniums ago. I don't know. Well, of course,
To decades
as I
ago.
grew up in the 70s, so there was a lot of
Okay.
influences there already with the music.
You
So
grew
everybody
up in
started
the
this.
70s.
In
Is
the,
this
I
true?
grew up in the 70s, and then in the 80s, and the
As a
90s.
football
I was
player?
still playing.
Seriously, man.
It's not true. You grew up in the 80s, maybe. I
No,
think.
I grew
So
up
you
in the
played
70s.
with 6 years,
So
or
you,
what? You played bass, or
I was already influenced, yes. I was listening, of course, like to bands like AC/DC, Kiss, Higher Speedwagon in the
wow, that's
70s,
awesome, man.
whatsoever.
okay?
So you
And
you
then
witnessed
80s,
It's not
70s,
my
80s,
yes,
90s, that
influences,
golden
I have to
era.
say.
not all together at the same time, please. Sorry, what again?
So actually, you witnessed 70s, 80s, 90s, those golden eras in front of your own eyes. So
Yeah,
that's really huge thing because I actually grew up during 90s, so I only saw 90s. So so you actually saw 70s and 80s because that was the rock and roll golden age. So that's huge,
exactly.
man. So
So I have a lot of influence, of course. So also Queen, for instance, I liked a lot. And then,
awesome.
of course, go back. Then in the 80s, I became a big fan of Rush.
Oh,
Yes, and I
Dude,
think
yes.
maybe here Geddy Lee was maybe one of my biggest influences on maybe trying to play. No, I wouldn't say I tried to play like him, but I think he had a little bit of influence on my playing, perhaps. Almost like Steve Harris from Iron Maiden, or maybe back in the 80s.
oh,
And also, I really admire Billy Sheehan, for instance, but I never can play like him because I never intend to. I met him last year on a bass guitar workshop in Nuremberg,
yeah.
and it's incredible what he's doing. But I think it's a complete different way of I would like to play. Yeah, so what he's doing is incredible. Maybe not out of this world. Really admire him for doing this, but I would say I never reached that level. I would say. And so,
Awesome.
of course, as well, as with Stonebourne, with our music, I would say it's the same. I try to develop my own style of playing. And when I now do play grunge, of course, I somehow orientating myself then the way the bass players from those grunge bands were playing. So, of course, to get that feeling into the music a little bit. So, not to play as much as Geddy Lee, for instance, did. But of course, sometimes breaking out of all those tunes, yes. But I try to keep myself in the basics.
But he has
So,
to play what I say, of course.
That's what he thinks.
so have you guys watched any of your influencer like Gidley or Eddie Vedder on live show
The light show.
on
Live.
live show? Have you catch any of them on live show? Eddie
Yeah,
Vedder or
I've
Gidley?
seen
of
Geddy Lee
course.
a few times, yes.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Because I'm asking this question because in India we didn't get any kind of artists that who didn't come here. So Eddie
Yeah.
Vedder or Rush who haven't come here in India still now. So in Europe they always go on Europe tour, world tour, on America and UK. So we just thought in India those who likes rock and roll music. So those bands, Pearl Jam, Rush, they didn't come here. So that's why I asked that question.
Yeah.
That you
Yeah, it's a
have
bad
thought.
thing, but
Yeah,
it's
I know that's a bad thing. Because lots of artists here influenced by Italy here also.
yeah.
Steve Harris and Eddie Vedder. Eddie Vedder is a big thing here. Eddie Vedder, Kurt Cobain is a big thing here. So that's why I asked the question. So anyway, so that was Stonebourne from Germany. They are doing Uber Grunge, and they released an album, and that's called Squirrels on a Plane, and it's available on Bandcamp, Spotify. Just go to Spotify or Bandcamp. Just type Stonebourne, Stonebourne. Just type that and get that album. And if you want to buy that album, just go to Bandcamp and search Stonebourne. You will get that album. Okay. So the link is on the description. just click on the link and start to listen, and you'll be mesmerized with this album. So anyway, that was Ben and Dear from the Stonebourne. Thank you for coming here.
Thank you very
And
much for inviting
it's
us.
a real pleasure. And it was our pleasure to have you here. So that was GrungeCast
Our
featuring
pleasure.
Stonebourne. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. So,
Thank you too. And all
yeah.
the best. Maybe then next year.
Yeah.
We will have you soon, guys, on the GrungeCast again. Because
Great. We will be there.
yeah.
It's
I
fun
hope you
talking
guys
with
will
you.
be here. So we are actually planning to buy the whole satellite.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the best.
So we'll have no network connection. Okay. So anyway, so that was Stonebone, and thank you guys who were watching this. So see ya, guys. Sayonara.
Thank you, and thanks for all sharing and coming us.
And make grunge great again.
Yeah. Make grunge great again. Yeah. Tata.
All
See
the
ya.
best.
Yeah.